auditing aircraft maintenance check packs and other quality control processes. Okay, what do we mean by auditing? We spoke about the difference between quality assurance and quality control. Quality assurance is to look at compliance with regulations or internal company procedures. This is quality assurance. Quality control is checking a standard for uniformity in a consistent way. Now, another comment between quality assurance and quality control is this. Quality assurance is separate to the process. It's additional to the process. If you remove quality assurance from a process, it does not impact the underlying process. Whereas quality control does, because quality control delivers a consistency. And what we've got to understand with this consistency is that everything is as it should be. So for example, we have 100 documents. Every document has to be completed, signed and stamped. The quality control check will check each one document. It will check that it's been signed and it will check it's been stamped. If any document has not been signed, it will go back into the workflow. If any document has not been stamped, it will go back into the workflow. So that is quality control. How often do you do it? Every time. We check, every single check pack is checked in this way for 100% completion. It's a quality control check. It's maintaining the quality of the product. Whereas QA will come along and look at the procedure for checking and check that the procedure is working correctly in accordance with the procedure. So QA is incidental to the process. So this is the difference between QA and QC. When we're talking about auditing aircraft maintenance check packs, we're talking about a quality control process, a QC process. Vladdy, what does that say?
A bird in the bush.
Petter, what does it say?
There's something hidden.
No. What does it say? Mike, what does it say?
A bird in the bush.
Aha, thank you.
Oh, yes,
Thank you.
it's so obvious.
So, we have two these. And what it's showing is that we have issues with perception. This is it's not a criticism, this is a comment on how humans read things. Normally, when we read, we don't read word by word, we scan the information. We scan. And we take from that scan the intelligence. Think about when you're reading newspapers, you're not reading like this. You do when you start, when we're little, when we're at school, we read like this. We don't read like that. Now, this behaviour is our normal behaviour. And we've got to now modify our behaviour when we're doing QC checks. Because we've got to go back to being at school, being 6, 7 years old, learning to read like this. We've got to do our checks exactly like this. Because otherwise, if we do it like an adult, we will fall into human factor traps. So I spoke to one large airline, and they have a process whereby the maintenance planning group does a QC check on the work packs that are returned. And I said, oh, that's very interesting. I said, do you find problems? And they said, yes, we find problems. I said, Do you realise that the problems you find have been missed by the QC that's performed by the production planning guys? So production planning are doing QC and failing to find something wrong and passing it to the maintenance planning saying it's finished. But it's not. So quality control, particularly repetitive activities, we have to be very careful. And there's some ground rules. If you want to do a QC check, if you've got 100 pieces of paper to check that everybody's signed and stamped, and maybe some other information, what you need to do is put yourself in a quiet room, away from, if you're sitting there, you've got emails coming in, the phone, people asking you questions, and by the way you're checking, it will fail. You will miss stuff. Not because you want to, because you're a human. And this is the problem. So we've got to say, guys, I won't be here for the next 1 hour. This person is managing what's going on. I'm taking this work back. And you go to a quiet room and you focus one by one by one. And if you do that, you should find everything that needs to be found.